Hi guys, today we are going to be trying out a new indie brand, which is always exciting for me, and I feel like it's been a little while since I've tried out a new brand for the first time. I tend to get PR from a lot of the same brands, and I haven't really been the best at keeping up with the new releases and the new launches and the new brands that have kind of been popping up in the past couple of months. But I got an email from, or a DM I should say, from Artitude Cosmetics, and they asked me if I wanted to receive their newest palette in PR, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, I would love that because this is a beautiful palette. So this is the Man Eater Untamed palette, like I said, from Artitude Cosmetics, and these are a UK-based brand. So this palette is going to be launching tomorrow when you're seeing this video at 4 p.m. BST, which I think is British time. I will leave it down below in my description box, as well as leave like a UK or a US time as well if you're interested in picking this up and you want to know when the actual launch date is. But here is what the palette looks like. As you can tell, one of my shades came broken. This was just a matte black, so I guess it could have been worse because I have plenty of matte blacks in my collection, but this shade was basically all over my palette and I had to just kind of scrape it out so I could make sure that it didn't get everywhere after I cleaned it off. So that is what was supposed to be in here, but this is the rest of the color story. This one also came a little bit mushy, but I just squeezed it back in and it was totally fine. So we're going to be doing two looks with this and seeing what the quality is like. Like I said, first time trying the brand, so I'm excited. I've actually already filmed one look that you will see at the end of the video, but we're going to be doing one look together now. So let me know if you have anything from this brand and what your experience with the brand is. I will pop up some swatches and stuff like that while I prime my eyes with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. And I will say the palette swatched really, really nicely. There are a couple more satins in this palette than I thought when I first received it. I didn't look at it too closely. Satins aren't really my favorites, but if you like satin shades, maybe that is a great thing for you. We'll see if I end up using any of them for today's look, but the actual shimmers in this palette are beautiful, and the mattes are really, really creamy, very smooth. So we're gonna see what I can do on my eyes today. For the other look that you'll see later, I did pretty much an all green and blue look, which is like one of my favorite color combinations. So I want to do something sort of in the opposite direction today. And I realized when swatching this palette that there's a lot of green in here. Like there's actually more green in here than I kind of thought, and a lot of the shimmers are green. So the only non-green shimmers are the pink one, the kind of goldy bronzy one, this one which is sort of similar. I can't quite decide if this is a multi-chrome. It definitely has like a duochrome shift to it. Not sure if it's a multi-chrome. This one is a satin blue shimmer, which is pretty, but it's a satin, so it's not my favorite. And then this one, which is like an iridescent green. These two are also satin shades. So I think I want to work with like the opposite of the green. So I'm thinking I want to do like these three maybe in my crease. See how that goes. You could also do like a neutral look with these two if you wanted to do that, but I want to do more of like a rainbow look today. I think maybe use the pink shimmer on my lid so I get to try out that one as well. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start with the darkest shade. I might deepen it up a little bit with this one after. I'm going to start with this one because in my first look that I did that you haven't seen yet, I felt like the dark green that I used wasn't the most buildable, so I just want to see what happens when I start with the darkest shade first. It's not that it didn't build at all when I first tried it, it's just it took a little bit longer than I would have liked. So I'm going to use one of the new brushes from Whatsup Beauty. They sent me their new brush set, which I don't think I've shown in any other videos yet, but these are going to be available in April. I want to say the 14th. I will correct myself on the screen if I'm mistaken, but I've had a great time with these so far. I mean, Whatsup Beauty has really nice goat hair brushes. If you're looking for natural hair brushes, which are very similar to Rephr, if you like Rephr, you're going to love these. I think they're amazing quality. So thank you so much to Whatsup Beauty for sending these my way, because I know I'm going to be enjoying these for a very long time. So I'm going to start with a shade called Carnivore, and I'm just going to use that to make sure I don't have any creasing on my eyes. I'm going to use that as my outer corner / deepening shade here, and just kind of see what happens if I build from darkest to lightest. I do prefer going light to dark because I do find it's a little bit easier and it's a little bit quicker if the shadows do what you want them to do. But I really want this to be like as intense as I'm able to get this. So I'm just going to start this on the outer corner of my eye. I'm not going to really pull it out or in too much. I'm just going to kind of lay it down and make sure that I have enough room to blend this out with the lighter shades. So just something like this. Like I said, I'm not going to use too much of this. I just want this to be the darkest shade in the look most likely, unless I feel like trying to deepen it up a little bit further, but this is definitely dark enough for me to not feel like I need to do that. Just gonna wipe off my brush a little bit here, and we're gonna go into the orangey shade, which is the shade called Tiger. This palette has a really nice big mirror in it too, if you like that in your palettes. And also it had a really nice sleeve on it that kind of had like a hand with like a slash mark, and then you could see through it, but sadly I threw out my sleeve because it's just a habit. Like I never keep the sleeves on my palettes because I don't care to. So I'm just gonna use that on the edge here and use that to blend out the first shade that I put down. And it seems to be working very nicely, going dark to light, which is going to work better with pretty much any formula if you go dark to light, because that way you're not going to run into any kind of building or patchiness problems, and the shadows are also going to just look more pigmented on the eyes. But like I said, I do prefer going light to dark if I can. And it's not that you can't with this palette, I just want to see how much more intense I'm able to get it when I don't. I'm going to leave a little bit of room in the front here for that yellow shade because I do want to use that as well. But so far, so good. I do think that the shimmers are the stars of the show in this palette though. The mattes are not going to be my favorite mattes in my collection, but they're absolutely workable. And I think if you like this color story, it's a pretty affordable palette. Let me see if I can pull up the price again. I just looked at it and of course I forgot already. Or maybe oh wait, prices, palette is £27, so 27.99 pounds, which I don't know exactly how much that is in dollars, but I can't imagine it being too different. So not bad of a price for like a 20 pan palette. Like I said, if it's something that you think that you're gonna like, I think you're gonna like it. So I'm just gonna leave this the way it is right now. I'm kind of just building one step at a time here. I'm not really perfecting anything until I'm completely done putting down the colors. I still don't know what I want to do underneath my eye, but I'm next gonna take the yellow shade here, which is the shade called Siberian, and I'm gonna use that in the front portion of my crease. This shade swatched beautifully, so I think, yeah, I'm really gonna like this. That is a beautiful yellow. Just gonna kind of pack this on in the front. I want this to be quite yellow in the front portion. So now that I kind of have these colors where it is that I want them, I'm just gonna go back in one more time and make sure that everything is looking the way that I want it to. And I think I'm just gonna do the same thing underneath my eye as well. Definitely feel like I'm getting a very good blend here, and these are performing exactly how I want them to. And they're looking very nice and pigmented. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it with the mattes. I'm going to go in with my NYX glitter primer before I do the shimmers because I just prefer the way that shimmers look on my lid when I do that. And let's see, I'm tempted to use this one and this one, kind of to see how that goes. So I think I'm going to start with the pink shade. This one swatched so beautifully, so I'm excited to put this on my eyes. I'm going to do that mostly in the outer portion of my lid here, starting it in the middle. And yeah, that's really pretty, exactly the way that I wanted it to look. It's definitely a little bit of a sheer formula, which also I expected, and I think this is going to just blend so nicely into that outer corner shade, and this is going to look beautiful with that gold shade as well. And this is also one of the brushes from the Whatsup Beauty set. Whenever you see me use the brushes with the pink handles, that's where my brush is from. And I think if you are on the lookout for like pretty small eyeshadow brushes, their new set that they came out with is really nice for that. It has some quite interesting shapes, but also all of the brushes are very small and very suitable for like smaller or hooded eyes, which I have myself, so this is perfect. I really like that shade. That is prettier than I kind of expected, and I don't know why. Let's see. I'm gonna go into the shade called Bangle, which I actually have a bangle. My cat is a bangle. He's a mix though. Like I don't know what he's a mix with, but he's not a pure bangle, and I don't think that's said when we got him what exactly he was, but he is the sweetest cat ever. So when I see bangle, I'm like, I'm here for that because I have one of those myself. So I'm just gonna put that on. That is so pretty too, on the front portion of my lid, and blend it into the pink shade. And I think this is all I'm going to do for the shadows. The only thing is I feel like there isn't really a inner corner shade to go with these colors. It's mostly just like green. This one is green and this one is green. And I just don't really feel like using green with this look. I could use this, I suppose, which is more of like a satiny lime green. But I think I'm just going to use a highlighter because I don't want to pull any green with this look. So I'm just going to take my Blend Bunny Noctilucent palette and use the yellow shade here in my inner corner. Did I go a little bit ham with this shade? It's possible, but I don't care. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on some lashes too. I'm gonna do it off camera though, because I don't know how to really do that on camera, but I got sent some from Kiss, and I'm not sure if these are gonna be too big. Definitely gonna have to trim these, but these are the Muses collection, and these are handmade with refined faux silk, and they said they are elegant and soft layered finished. So all of them that they sent me, I had the box over there, it looked really nice. There's a couple of different lengths and stuff, so I'm gonna try these for the first time and see if I end up liking them. All right, so the lashes are on, and these are honestly really pretty. Like, I'm surprised at how much I like these because they are a clear band lash, and for the most part, I'm not the biggest fan of like clear bands. I find them a little bit harder to put on because they're a little flimsy, and I don't feel like I can always put enough glue on there because the band is like so thin. But I feel like I got a good application with these, and I really like how they look. I like how sort of spiky they are and that you can sort of see through them. And I'm happy with these so far. I'm definitely going to wear these again. I do feel like I put them on a little wonky on this eye, and now it's going to be poking me and bothering me for the rest of the day, but hopefully that is not the case and it's just like a lash that's stuck in my eye or something. But I think they look really nice. Like, they are beautiful lashes. And Kiss in general, I feel like their lashes have always been really nice, the ones that I've tried, but they've never ended up being my favorites for one reason or another. I just usually prefer, I don't know, other styles of bands and stuff like that, and their styles haven't been perfect, but they have some really pretty lashes. So if you've been looking for like affordable lashes that you can probably find at the drugstores if you live in the States, then definitely look into the Kiss lashes because they have some really pretty styles. A lot of them are just like very large, but I feel like this new collection, if you have smaller eyes, look into these, the ones with the green packaging. I think that might be something for you. So I think that's pretty much going to be the look. So I will show you the other look that I did with this palette as well and kind of talk you through what I used. So I mostly focused on the greens for this look because I wanted to test out the greens because there are so many greens. I was like, I need to do a green look. So I used two of the greens in my crease. I used a bright green and then I used the darker green to deepen it up with. And like I said earlier in the video, I did feel like the dark green wasn't the most buildable. It wasn't the most opaque. It wasn't the most in any way. Like, I totally got the look that I was looking for, and I feel like in the end it ended up looking beautiful, but it felt like it took a little bit longer than it would have with other brands just using that darker matte. But I don't think it's a bad formula at all. Like I said, also I just think that it takes a little more work maybe than just some other formulas that I'm sure you have in your collection as well that you absolutely love. I really love the green and the blue shimmers that I use on my lid. I think they turn out so good, and I love the inner corner shade, like the iridescent green shade. Oh, I love those kind of shades. I wish that all brands had them in palettes because they make for the most beautiful like brow bone shades or just face highlighters or inner corner shades, and they're so versatile. You can use them as a lid shade. They're so pretty. And I'm honestly also kind of a fan of the satin shade because it's so light, and I feel like I prefer satins that are either very dark or very light just because of the way that I like to use my shimmers. I prefer like more mid-tone to light shimmers like on my lid as my main shimmer shade. But then if I'm gonna use something to kind of merge that shimmer in with the dark matte that I have in the outer corner, I don't mind having a satin because that just makes the blend a little bit smoother. And for like the very light satin shades, I think they're beautiful as inner corner shades, or just like I did in that look, just use it a little bit on my lower lash line and it turned out so pretty. So I did have a really good time with this palette. I felt like the looks came out really beautiful. And I'm excited to have a new brand in my rotation because it's always fun to, you know, review something new from time to time and not just formulas that you're already used to working with that you know how performs. So I'm excited for this brand. I'm excited to see what they do in the future, and I'm sad that my black shade broke because I feel like they would have a really nice black shade formula that would be nice and buildable but still like be very nice and black. So yeah, I'm excited to have this palette, and I want to play more with this. I want to test out more shades. I want to use some of the neutrals don't come for me, but I think they're so beautiful. Like pairing these two maybe together with this one, or even this one, or even this one, like this full row would be really pretty, especially since this is like iridescent green shade, would be interesting. Even this shade would be so nice with, there's so many things you can do with this palette. Fun color story, I really enjoy it. Also on my lips, I'm wearing one of the new Unearthly glosses. If you haven't watched my, actually I haven't been up yet. Have I mentioned these yet in my Makeup Diary series? I don't know how far I've gotten with these when I'm filming this video, but I did get sent all of the new lip glosses from Unearthly, and I think they're beautiful. I really enjoy the colors. I really like the formulas. The more opaque ones, which is the one that I'm wearing today, not fully opaque, I would say like 65 to 70% opaque formula. Really beautiful, so comfortable to wear. It sticks to your lips very nicely without being sticky, and they're fairly long lasting for being a gloss, and I think they just look really nice on the lips. I'm using one with a lip liner today, and I didn't fully fill in my lips with the lip liner, so you can see like the opacity of it, and I think it looks great. So this is the shade called Juice, and I'm using that with a lip liner from Colourpop in the shade Starship, which is pretty much the same color, which is sort of how I like to pair my lip product. But yeah, thank you so much to Artitude Cosmetics for sending me this palette. I hope the launch goes well. Let me know if this is something that you are interested in. I think it's a really fun palette, and I think a lot of you are probably going to like it. So that's going to be it for today. If you want to see some other indie makeup reviews, I will put my playlist up on the screen. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.